Chapter 1498, The unexpected Nangong Luoyua Hall Masterly saw that Yun Chuzhou did not make any movements. He signaled with his eyes and an assassin stabbed a student from the heaven class. That student immediately screamed. Yun Chuzhou, if you still don't come down, I will keep stabbing them with my sword. Do you have the heart to let them suffer because of you? Hall Masterly said viciously. Yun Chuzhia's hands were tightly clenched together. Calm down, she must calm down now. She must think of a good way to get out, or else everyone would die. Hall Masterly saw that Yun Chuzhou still did not come out, and signaled for the assassins to continue stabbing. The students of Tianyuan Academy cried out in pain, but the parts that the assassin stabbed were not fatal, so they would not die for a while. Wu Heng was so frightened that his forehead was covered in sweat. He felt that he had to make a contribution, or else he wouldn't be able to live. Thus, he said, Sir, although these people are Yun Chuzhia's classmates, they don't have as deep a relationship as Nangong Luoyue and Yun Chuzhou. Why don't you take care of that Nangong Luoyue properly? That slut Yun Chuzhou naturally wouldn't be able to endure it. Hall Master Li's eyes flashed. This idiot's words made sense. Yun Chuzhou, I didn't expect you to be so cold-hearted. I don't know if you are willing to part with this Nangong Luoyue. I'll count to 10. If you don't come out, I'll send someone to strip her of her clothes. If you don't come out, I'll reward this little girl to my brothers. Nangong Luoyue was so angry that she was trembling. Wu Heng, and all of you will die a horrible death. Little Jiu, don't bother about me. At worst, they'll just treat it as if I've been bitten by a dog. It's just a smelly skin. If they are willing to be tormented, then let them be. Yun Chuzhia's heart shook violently when she heard Nangong Luoyue's words. She never thought that the usually gentle and weak Nangong Luoyue would actually have such a backbone at such a critical moment. She was even stronger than those male students. Hall Masterly began counting. When he counted to 10, an assassin took off Nangong Luoyue's outer clothes. Even though Nangong Luoyue had already mentally prepared herself, she was still extremely embarrassed and indignant. Her lips were even bleeding from her bites. Yun Chuzhou was extremely resentful of her own incompetence. She had relied too much on external forces. Once she couldn't use the talismans and puppets, she would be nothing. What should she do? If Sister Luoyue were to be spoiled like this, she would never be able to forgive herself for the rest of her life. Stop. Give me 2 hours to think about it. After all, this concerns my life. If you don't agree, HMPH, then you can go ahead and attack. After all, no one's life is more important than mine. Yun Chuzhou decided to delay for a period of time. Hall Masterly rolled his eyes. In any case, he was not afraid of Yun Chuzhou playing any tricks with the hostage in hand. If she really pushed it, she might really not care about the lives of these people anymore. Therefore, he said viciously, all right, I'll give you 2 hours. If you still don't come down, HMPH. Don't worry, I'll give you an answer in 2 hours. I'm a very kind person. I usually won't let people die because of me. The corner of Hall Master Li's eyes twitched. He had to admit that this Yun Chuzhou was really thick-skinned. Even at this time, she still didn't forget to praise herself. Yun Chuzhou retreated into the cave and released the 3 Xiao Hanyo. The 4 of them gathered together to think of a way. Do you have any good ideas? Master, why don't we fight them to the death? Xiao Hong said. You idiot. There are more than 20 people under them, and they have hostages. We have no chance of winning. Xiao Hanyo said disapprovingly. Chapter 1499, cut off his tongue. It was almost 2 hours, and the 4 of them had yet to come up with a safe plan. Yun Chuzhou gritted her teeth. Since there's no other good plan, then we can only do this. In a while, after we go down, what do you do, Master? This plan is still a little risky. Otherwise, you shouldn't go down. You're not familiar with them anyway, said Xiao Honghu. Sigh, although I'm not the kind of person who would sacrifice myself to help others, Sister Luoyue will take care of me no matter what. Moreover, I can't bear to watch them humiliate Sister Luoyue. Yun Chujiu sighed and said. Although Xiao Hong felt that her black-hearted master was a little silly, she inexplicably felt more at ease in her heart. Her black-hearted master would do this for Nangong Luoyue. If she was in danger in the future, her black-hearted master would definitely not abandon her. Yun Chujiu, 2 hours have passed. Have you considered it? If you still don't come out, I will get someone to continue giving this little beauty clothes. Hall Master Li said sinisterly. Yun Chujiu poked her head out from the cave and said, if I go down, will you let them go? Swear on your inner demon oath. If you swear on your inner demon oath, I will go down. Hall Master Li thought that these people would be of no use other than to blackmail Yun Chujiu, so it didn't matter if he let them go. Therefore, he swore on his inner demon oath according to Yun Chujiu's words. Yun Chujiu, can you come down now? I have another condition. That is, you cut off that Wu Heng's tongue. After you cut it off, if I don't go down, I will be struck by lightning and die a horrible death. Hearing Yun Chujiu's words, Wu Heng was so scared that he almost sat on the ground. He hurriedly said, Hall Master Li, don't listen to that bitch's nonsense. She must be up to something, you can't fall for it. I am still useful, I can help you to deceive more students of Tian Yuan Academy. Hall Master Li's eyes narrowed, it was obvious that he was a little hesitant. Hall Master Li, if you can't bear to part with this fool, then forget it. You can't even satisfy such a small condition of mine, I'd better not go down. Yun Chujiu retracted her body that had already stretched out. Hall Master Li waited for a moment, as long as he killed Yun Chujiu, it would be a first merit. As for the other students from the Tian Yuan Academy, they were dispensable. Thus, he gritted his teeth and said, men, cut out his tongue. Wu Heng was instantly scared out of his wits. Hall Master Li, no, you can't do this. I've helped you guys a great deal. Please spare me. Wu Heng was about to hug Hall Master Li's leg with tears streaming down his face when Hall Master Li impatiently kicked him away. Then, he heard Wu Heng howl like a pig being slaughtered. Finally, he fainted from the pain. Yun Chujiu, can you come down this time? If you dare to trick me, none of these people will survive. Hall Master Li said viciously. Don't worry. I always keep my word. I'm warning you, although I'm ready to die, I don't want to fall to my death because it's too ugly. If you attack me when I climb down, I'll climb back into the cave. Humph. You have quite a lot of demands. Climb down. We won't attack you midway. Hall Master Li snorted coldly. He thought that this smelly girl must be up to something. However, we have hostages and so many people. Are we afraid that you'll run away? Chapter 1500. Seeing that Hall Master Li had agreed, Yun Chujiu climbed out of the hole and slowly climbed down. When the people of the Netherworld Hall saw Yun Chujiu climbing down like a gecko, they couldn't help but wonder, how did this smelly girl do it? She could climb down without using a rope. This smelly girl was really strange. When Yun Chujiu was about 10 feet above the ground, she suddenly waved her hand at the people below. Look at the hidden weapons. The people of the Netherworld Hall were stunned. When they thought of the chili noodles that Yun Chujiu had thrown, they couldn't help but hold their breaths and hurriedly dodged. However, they didn't expect that Yun Chujiu didn't throw anything down at all. Instead, she leaped with all her might and directly jumped in front of Hall Master Li. Hall Master Li was about to accept the challenge, but he didn't expect that he would suddenly stumble. He was actually directly held by Yun Chujiu's kitchen knife at his neck. The entire process only lasted for a few seconds. Many people from the Netherworld Hall did not even have the time to react to what had happened before they realized that Hall Master Li's neck was held by Yun Chujiu's kitchen knife. When Yun Chujio saw that she had successfully captured Hall Master Li, she finally heaved a sigh of relief in her heart. She used the kitchen knife to lightly cut Hall Master Li's neck, and fresh blood flowed out. If you don't want him to die, then release those people. Hall Master Li was so frightened that he said repeatedly, release them, quick. Quick. A few assassins from the Netherworld Hall were about to release Nangong Luoyue and the others, however, a triangle-eyed man said, we can't release them. If we release them, that bitch Yun Chujio will force us to release her as well. Then, all our previous efforts will be in vain. Yun Chujio sneered and said, then, do you not want this Hall Master Li anymore? San Jiaoyan's eyes flickered, Hall Master Li, for the sake of Vice Palace Master Lu, for the Netherworld Palace, you should sacrifice yourself. Yun Chujio, don't even think about using Hall Master Li to threaten us. Today, you and these people will die. Hall Master Li was so angry that he cursed, Lu Hua, you heartless thing. I have always treated you well, but you actually treated me like this. San Jiaoyan pretended to be helpless and said, Hall Master Li, we have a good personal relationship, but we cannot ruin Vice Palace Master Liu's big plan. In order to prevent you from suffering, I will send you on your way. After saying that, San Jiaoyan actually launched a spiritual attack at Hall Master Li, and a poisonous spiritual snake headed straight for Hall Master Li. Yun Chujio's heart skipped a beat, and she suddenly pushed Hall Master Li's back. Yun Chujio's push allowed Hall Master Li to dodge a part of the spiritual attack, but his left shoulder was still badly bitten. Hall Master Li suddenly realized that he had gained his freedom, and his first reaction was to shoot a spiritual power attack at San Jiaoyan. San Jiaoyan naturally did not want to be outdone, and the two of them started to fight. The other assassins of the Netherworld Hall were momentarily stunned, not knowing how to react. Yun Chujio naturally would not let go of such a good opportunity, and she rushed to the side of Nangong Luoyue and the others. She released a group of spirit energy piglets towards the assassins guarding them. Those assassins immediately surrounded Yun Chujio in the middle and started to fight with her. No one noticed that Xiao He had already sneaked out from underground and broke the ropes of Nangong Luoyue and the others. Although their spirit energy was still restricted, at least they could move. Yun Chujio saw that Xiao He had succeeded and suddenly rushed towards one of the killers. That killer subconsciously dodged and Yun Chujio rushed to Nangong Luoyue and the other's side and stretched out her hand to release their spiritual power. The six of them immediately formed a circle with Yun Chujio and started to fight with the people of the Netherworld Palace. Chapter 1501. Do you have to hate me so much? Although Nangong Luoyue and the other spiritual power levels were lower than those of the Netherworld Hall, after experiencing the fear of death, the energy that erupted from their bodies was not something that those assassins could compare to. Therefore, for the time being, Yun Chujio and the others did not fall into a disadvantageous position. However, Yun Chujio knew that this was only temporary. After all, the civil war between Hall Master Li and San Jiaoyan had left these assassins somewhat dumbfounded. Moreover, there were still more than 20 assassins on the cliff, so it was more important for them to flee for their lives first. Thinking of this, Yun Chujio said to Nangong Luoyue and the others, retreat. After the 7 people launched an intense wave of attacks, they began to run forward quickly. At this time, Hall Master Li finally relied on the help of his subordinates to kill San Jiaoyan. After swallowing a pill to stop the bleeding, he said angrily, chase. We must tear this bitch Yun Chujio into pieces. Hall Master Li, what should we do with this person? An assassin pointed at Wu Heng, who had just woken up and was about to escape. Hall Master Li said impatiently, humph, he's just a useless piece of trash. Just kill him. Wu Heng wanted to ask for mercy, but he realized that he couldn't speak at all. He ran forward like a madman and was killed by an assassin with a single sword strike. Before he died, he still couldn't understand why he had already betrayed Yun Chujio and the others. The people of the Netherworld Hall still wanted to kill him. Hall Master Li led his subordinates and chased after him relentlessly. The assassins on the cliff also climbed down and joined in the pursuit. Yun Chuzhou and the others ran all the way. Very soon, a few of them couldn't run anymore. They had been stabbed a few times by the people of the Netherworld Hall. Although it wasn't fatal, their injuries weren't light either. They had only relied on their will to survive just now. Seeing this, Yun Chuzhou took out a few heaven-grade blood coagulation pills and handed them to them. Although the few of them were curious about what kind of pill this pill with golden patterns was, they still swallowed it. They did not expect that the effect of the pill would be so miraculous. Not long after, the wounds actually started to heal. Although the people were very curious about the golden patterns on the pill, they did not ask much and ran forward with all their might. Yun Chuzhou looked behind her. There was still some distance between them and the people from the Netherworld Hall. As long as they could find an advantageous terrain, they should be able to get rid of them. Just as Yun Chuzhou was slightly relieved in her heart, more than 30 people suddenly appeared in front of her. Yun Chuzhou immediately saw the symbol of the Netherworld Hall on their bodies and her head could not help but buzz. Damn it, could it be that the damn Qi Ling had sent all the people from the Netherworld Hall here? What should they do now? If they met them, they had no chance of winning at all. Yun Chuzhou looked left and right. To the east was a valley, and to the west, there was a reflection of white light. It seemed to be water. Yun Chuzhou gritted her teeth and said, "Run to the west." Nangong Luoyue and the others also noticed the people coming from the opposite direction, and they also complained in their hearts. What bad luck! How could there be so many people from the Netherworld Palace? The people on the opposite side also noticed Yun Chuzhou and the others. Although they didn't see that it was Yun Chuzhou, when they heard Hall Master Li and the other shouts, they immediately became excited and chased after her relentlessly. Yun Chuzhou gnashed her teeth in hatred. Didn't I just ruin your plan 3 times? Didn't I just ruthlessly slap your faces? Did you have to hate me so much? If the people of the Netherworld Palace knew that Yun Chuzhou thought so, they would probably slap her to death. Did you think that this was not enough for us to kill you 100 times? Chapter 1502 Nangong Luoyue and the others felt that this time, the odds were against them. There were more than 60 people from the Netherworld Palace chasing after them. Once they caught up with them, they would definitely die. When they discovered that there was an incomparably wide river in front of them, they almost cried. It was over. Why did Yun Chuzhou choose such a direction? Although they would not drown in the water, they did not have any offensive abilities in the water. If they encountered aquatic demon beasts, they would definitely die. The people from the Hall of the Netherworld chasing after them were overjoyed when they saw this. Let's see where you can run to this time. Don't tell me you still dare to jump into the river. It would be strange if the aquatic demon beasts in the river did not eat you. Yun Chuzhou gave Nangong Luoyue and the others a handful of waterproof beads. This is a waterproof bead. One can be used for 15 minutes. Just put it in your mouth and jump into the river with me. When Nangong Luoyue and the others saw the waterproof beads, they were delighted. With this waterproof bead, they didn't have to worry about drowning. After putting it in their mouths, they followed Yun Chuzhou and jumped into the river. After Yun Chuzhou jumped into the river, she realized that the river was not only wide, but also very deep. Her heart was moved. Humph. I have a boat. Yun Chuzhou waved her hand, and a large boat floated on the surface of the water. Everyone, get on the boat. I want to see how those bastards will chase us. Ha ha ha. Being rich is being willful. We can have as many boats as we want. Nangong Luoyue and the others were simply stunned. Yun Chuzhou actually had a ship. Wasn't this too unbelievable? Although the Tianyuan continent also had seas, those seas were very far away from the center of the continent. They were all located in remote areas, so very few people would have a ship. Everyone boarded the large ship. After Yun Chujio told a few male students how to control the ship, she boarded the deck. Looking at the people from the Netherworld Hall who were staring at the shore, she waved her claws. "Hey, why aren't you chasing after her? Why aren't you chasing after her? Come and kill me." Hall Master Li was so angry that he gritted his teeth. "That damned Yun Chujio. There's actually a ship. How detestable. Hall Master Zhu, what should we do? Should we just watch her escape?" Hall Master Zhu was the leader of another group of people. He gritted his teeth. "Of course we can't let her go so easily. Well, jump down and attack her boat to kill her. But, what if we encounter aquatic beasts? Our spiritual power attacks will be greatly reduced in the water, especially when the brothers with fire spirit roots don't have the ability to attack at all in the water." Hall Master Li said with difficulty. "Those with fire spirit roots, don't go down. Just follow them on the shore. The rest of you, jump down. After all, we have the advantage in numbers. Even if we encounter aquatic demonic beasts, we won't be afraid." Hall Master Li saw that Hall Master Zhu insisted and had no choice but to order everyone to jump into the river and chase after Yun Chujio's big boat. Yun Chujio stood on the deck and said arrogantly, "Do you think you are bastards? Do you still want to chase us? Can your dog paddles catch up with our big boat? You really overestimated your abilities. If you go at full speed, they won't be able to catch up even if they vomit blood." As expected, after Yun Chujio's big boat went at full speed, even though the people of the Netherworld Hall were extremely tired, they could only grit their teeth as they looked at the back of the boat. What bad luck. I didn't expect that bitch to actually have a boat. It makes me so angry. Hall Master Li was so angry that he was twitching. Humph. There's no need to be disheartened. We just need to follow along the river bank. When the time comes, we'll think of a way to deal with that bitch. We can only do this. After the people of the Netherworld Hall came ashore, they chased along the river bank. Chapter 1503 Aquatic Spirit Beast Yun Chujio saw that she had temporarily gotten rid of the people from the Netherworld Hall and sat down on the deck. "Emma, I can finally breathe a sigh of relief. I'm so tired." Nangong Luoyue and the others also heaved a sigh of relief. They thought that they would definitely die, but they didn't expect that they would actually get rid of the people from the Netherworld Hall. "Little Jiu, what should we do next?" Nangong Luoyue asked. "We can only stay on the boat for the time being. The people of the Netherworld Palace will not give up. They will definitely track us on the shore. We can only wait on the boat for the trial to end. However, their main target is me. If you guys want to leave, you can wait until it's dark and sneak onto the other shore," Yun Chujio said to Nangong Luoyue and the others. They shook their heads. Firstly, they felt that abandoning Yun Chujio was not a good idea. Secondly, they felt that it was safer to follow Yun Chujio. There might be people from the Netherworld Hall on the other side of the river, they were not a match for the people from the Netherworld Hall. 3 days passed in a row. The people from the Netherworld Hall were still chasing after them on the shore. Yun Chujio had the boat stop and go. If the people from the Netherworld Hall did not chase after them, the boat would stop on the river. If the people from the Netherworld Hall went into the water to chase after them, she had the boat go forward at full speed. The people of the Netherworld Palace were so angry that they were twitching. Just when the people of the Netherworld Palace were at their wits' end, they met another group of people from the Netherworld Palace. The leader was a Hall Master surnamed Yu. After he heard what Hall Master Li had said about what had happened, he smiled sinisterly. "Brothers, there's no need to be anxious. I am not talented, and my swimming ability is not bad. Moreover, many of my brothers have grown up by the sea. Moreover, they all have aquatic spiritual pets. It will be easy for me to take care of Yun Chujio and the others. You guys wait for my good news." Hearing that, Hall Master Li and Hall Master Zhu were overjoyed. That's great. We're just waiting for your good news. It would be best if we can kill them in the water. Even if we can't kill them and force them to the shore, we'll definitely be able to kill them. All right. The two of you will split into two groups and go to the opposite shore to prevent them from escaping from the opposite shore. After saying that, Hall Master Yu led his men and jumped into the river. After Hall Master Yu and the others summoned their aquatic spiritual pets, they rode on their spiritual pets and headed straight for Yun Chujia's ship. Nangong Luoyue, who was in charge of keeping watch on the deck, couldn't help but cry out in alarm, "Little Jiu! Little Jiu! This is bad. They have aquatic spiritual beasts, they are catching up." Yun Chujio, who was in the middle of enjoying the hot pot, walked to the side of the deck and took a look. Sure enough, there were 10 people riding on the aquatic spiritual pets and chasing after the ship. Judging from their speed, they should be able to catch up in 15 minutes. Yun Chujio rubbed her chin and thought for a moment. If we let them catch up, we would be in a passive position as soon as they boarded the ship. It would be best if we took care of them in the water. Her purple lightning was quite powerful in the water. How about she jump into the river and kill a few of them first? Yun Chujio thought of this and said to Nangong Luoyue, "I'll jump into the river and kill them. You guys be careful and stay alert. Don't let anyone get close to our ship. Junior sister Jiu, can you do it? It's too risky. It's better to wait for them to catch up to us and deal with them together." Nangong Luoyue anxiously stopped her. Don't worry. They might not be my match in the water. If they can't do it, I'll come back. I'm leaving. See you later." After saying this, Yun Chujio jumped down and directly dived into the river. Nangong Luoyue stamped her feet anxiously. Wasn't little Jiu messing around? No matter how powerful you are, you can't kill 10 people. Moreover, they have aquatic spirit beasts. Chapter 1504 I'll let you feed the bastards. When the people of the Netherworld Hall on the shore saw that Yun Chujio had actually jumped off the boat, they couldn't help but be overjoyed. Had this wretched girl lost her mind? She had actually walked right into the trap. She was definitely going to die this time. Hall Master Yu and the others were experts in the water. Moreover, they had the help of the aquatic spirit beasts. Killing Yun Chujio was simply a piece of cake. Hall Master Yu and the others thought the same. When they saw Yun Chujio jump down, they couldn't help but twitch their lips. They thought to themselves, this Yun Chujio isn't as smart as the rumors say. She's simply extremely stupid. If she were to stay on the boat, they would still need to spend some effort to kill her. They didn't expect her to jump off the boat voluntarily and die. That's great. They saw that Yun Chujio did not come out of the water to catch her breath. They could not help but wonder, could it be that the stinky girl had drowned? An assassin said to Hall Master Yu, "I'll go to the front to take a look. I think that stinky girl might have drowned." Hall Master Yu nodded. The assassin got his bloodthirsty catfish to speed up and swam towards the place where Yun Chujio had fallen into the water. When the assassin was searching for Yun Chujio, the bloodthirsty catfish he was riding started to roll violently. The assassin was caught off guard and fell into the water. Only then did he realize that the tail of the bloodthirsty catfish had been blown into a bloody mess. While he was in a daze, several small lightning bolts were swimming towards his vital parts. The assassin was so scared that he quickly dodged. Unexpectedly, those small lightning bolts actually turned around and chased after him. What the hell was this? Although some people could use intermediate-level materialization techniques to transform their spiritual power into aquatic demonic beasts, only the aquatic demonic beasts formed by advanced-level materialization techniques had intelligence. Yun Chujio's lightning bolt was obviously just lightning. How could it turn around? Yun Chujio did not have the time to let him think clearly. Not only did the purple lightning bolts shoot out frequently, but they also shot out several small purple needles. However, she realized that the speed of the small purple needles was far from the speed of the purple lightning bolts. She could only continue to shoot purple lightning to attack the assassin. The assassin was momentarily stunned. In addition, the blood of his bloodthirsty catfish dyed the surrounding river red and obstructed his vision. He was struck by the purple lightning and was actually killed just like that. Once the assassin died, the bloodthirsty catfish naturally died as well. The corpse of a man and a fish floated to the surface of the water. Nangong Luoyue and the others were stunned. The people from the Netherworld Hall by the shore were stunned. Hall Master Yu and the others were also stunned. How was this possible? In less than 15 minutes, that assassin and his spirit beast were actually killed by Yun Chuzhou. This was impossible. Hall Master Yu, could it be that Yun Chuzhou is very powerful in the water? An assassin asked with some unease. That shouldn't be the case. I think there might be a very powerful aquatic demonic beast ahead. Not only Li Yuan, but Yun Chuzhou might also have been eaten by that demonic beast. Everyone, be careful and dive into the water to see what's going on. Hall Master Yu said. When everyone heard this, they all jumped into the water. They saw a figure swimming rapidly towards them from afar. Who else could it be but Yun Chuzhou with a smile? Aya, you are much dumber than Hall Master Li. You actually took the initiative to enter the river to die. If you know what's good for you, quickly scram back to the shore and I will spare you. Otherwise, that person just now will be your end. I will let you all feed the big bastards in the river. Yun Chuzhou said arrogantly. Chapter 1505, Try the Little Piggy. Hall Master Yu and the others were shocked. This stinky girl could actually talk in the water. How was this possible? Although the water-repellent bead could allow people to move freely in the water, it was absolutely impossible to talk. Either her constitution was special, or she had a water-repellent bead on her body. At the thought of the water-repellent bead, everyone's eyes revealed a greedy look. The water-repellent bead was a legendary existence. Even if it was for the sake of the water-repellent bead, they had to kill this stinky girl. Hall Master Yu waved his hand, indicating for everyone to surround Yun Chuzhou. Unexpectedly, before they could go forward to surround her, Yun Chuzhou smiled darkly at them. Then, with a shake of her hand, she spilled something, causing the surrounding river water to turn pitch black. Just as everyone was panicking, they noticed several small purple lightning bolts shooting straight at them. Hall Master Yu and the others and the spiritual beasts quickly dodged. What shocked them was that the small lightning bolts could actually make a turn. Fuck. This stinky girl was too strange. Not only was it strange on land, but it was also strange in water. It was obviously the simplest lightning bolt, how could it make a turn? Hall Master Yu gestured for everyone to calm down and got everyone to start attacking the front with their spiritual power. These people all had water spiritual roots and their spiritual power were all aquatic demonic beasts. They shot forward. Although they couldn't see Yun Chuzhou's exact location, that stinky girl was definitely in front. Ouch! I'm seriously injured. I can't do it. I have to escape. Yun Chuzhou's screams and muttering came from the front. Hall Master Yu and the others were overjoyed. One of the killers immediately swam forward quickly. His spiritual pet, the iron-toothed shark, also rushed forward. After swimming for a while, the killers saw Yun Chuzhou swimming forward with all her might, and traces of blood spread as she swam forward. The killer was delighted. It seemed that this stupid girl was really injured. Although her little lightning was a little strange, as long as he was careful, it would be no problem. Moreover, he had the help of the iron-toothed shark. Thinking of this, the assassin sped up and chased after Yun Chuzhou. Yun Chuzhou turned around and saw him chasing after her. She couldn't help but sneer in her heart. "Tsk tsk, little fellow, another one is courting death. I'll kill you all one by one." The assassin was chasing after her when he saw Yun Chujio suddenly stop swimming. Just when he was a little surprised, he saw Yun Chujio waving her left and right hands, and several purple bolts of lightning flew towards him and the giant iron-toothed shark. Although the assassin was a little surprised, he did not care too much. He shot out a spiritual eel and pounced towards Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio summoned 8 flying swords to protect herself. She continued to shoot purple lightning bolts at the assassin and the iron-toothed shark. After a few moves, Yun Chujio thought that it was not good. She still thought that things were too simple. It seemed that he was too careless to be able to kill that person previously. This was obviously not easy to deal with. Moreover, the people behind had already swam over. They would be able to catch up soon. If she could not finish the battle quickly, she would be surrounded. What should she do? The purple needle was not enough. She did not know how to use the intermediate level materialization spell. What if she could also materialize an aquatic demon beast? Yes, she would give it a try. Yun Chujio thought of this and started to use the intermediate level materialization spell. Then, she sadly realized that she had released a cute little piglet of spiritual energy. The little piglet of spiritual power that had been released was clearly a little confused. Then, it swam toward the giant iron-toothed shark. Chapter 1506 The Invincible Piglet. The assassin and the steel-toothed shark looked at the piglet released by Yun Chujio with disdain. If the assassin did not have a waterproof bead in his mouth, he would definitely laugh out loud. This piglet was indeed very abnormal on land, however, it was useless in the water. As expected, the piglet clearly did not know how to swim. Its 4 short legs were flailing around randomly, and it even flipped over in a moment of carelessness. Its belly was facing upwards, as if it was drowned. Yun Chujio was dumbfounded. It seemed that the piglet clearly could not do it. It could only continue to use the purple lightning. She was afraid that she could not kill these people. If she really could not do it, she would first get on the boat. After all, she had the water-repellent bead, so she could swim much faster than these people. Seeing that the piglet was really too stupid, the steel-toothed giant shark also showed a disdainful expression. This water was the territory of their aquatic demon beasts, and this piglet still wanted to attack it. It was simply wishful thinking. It couldn't even swim, yet it still wanted to attack it. Just as the giant shark was feeling proud, it never expected that the piglet would suddenly flip over. Its hind legs kicked hard, and with a whoosh, it pounced on the giant shark's right eye. The giant shark was completely unprepared. Its right eye was directly turned into a bloody mess by the spiritual energy piglet, and the spiritual energy piglet also dissipated due to the exhaustion of spiritual energy. That assassin was completely stunned. Heavens, this little piglet of spiritual power actually knew how to feign death and deceive people. Was it going to become a spirit? How could an intermediate-level physical transformation technique materialize such a nimble little piglet? However, Yun Chujio was overjoyed. Ha! She had already said that her little piglet of spiritual power would not be so weak. Thinking back to that time, there was a famous pig. Yes, it was that pig Beiji. Didn't he manage 100,000 heavenly court sailors? Therefore, there was evidence that this pig could swim. This time, Yun Chujio was much more confident. This spiritual piglet was much more powerful than the purple lightning. Furthermore, it could devour the opponent's spiritual beasts. It was really great. Yun Chujio faced the assassin and the steel-toothed shark and released more than 10 spiritual piglets. These spiritual piglets changed from the previous spiritual piglet's ignorance. The moment they entered the water, they quickly swam towards the assassin and the steel-toothed shark. Moreover, they did not use their 4 short legs to paddle. Instead, they used their hind legs to kick the water. With a fierce leap, they could pounce onto the enemy's body. Seeing this, Yun Chujio could not close her mouth and smiled. Very good, very good. These little piglets were really too powerful. They were simply invincible little piglets. She could not close her mouth and smile. That assassin was really unlucky. Before he could recover from the perverse state of the little piglets, several little piglets had already pounced on him. He hurriedly released his spiritual ocean eel to block them. Who would have thought that the little piglets would swallow the spiritual ocean eel in just a few mouthfuls? Then, they pounced on him even more ferociously. Yun Chujio did not stay idle either. Although the purple lightning was not as powerful as the spirit power piglets, the purple lightning specialized in attacking vulnerable parts such as the eyes. It was truly a sneak attack on a small expert. Although the assassin tried his best to resist, he still lost his life under the pincer attack of the spirit power piglets and the purple lightning. Once he died, his steel-toothed giant shark would also be finished. The corpse of the assassin and the steel-toothed shark floated to the surface of the river, and immediately, the people of the Nether World Hall on the shore exploded. Oh my God, another one died. Didn't Hall Master you say that they were very powerful? How did they get killed by Yun Chujio in succession? That's right, they still couldn't kill Yun Chujio even with 10 of them and the demonic beasts. It seems like they were just bragging. You can't say that. I guess they didn't notice it at the beginning. Aren't there 8 people? Maybe it will be Yun Chujio's dead body that floats up later. Chapter 1507, Pretending to be a pig to eat a tiger. Hall Master Yu and the others had already swam to the vicinity of Yun Chujio. They had lost 2 people in a row, so they did not dare to underestimate the enemy this time around. Hall Master Yu gestured with his hands, gesturing for Yun Chujio to be surrounded. Yun Chujio used the same trick again and sprinkled another bottle of dye, causing the river to turn pitch black. Hall Master Yu and the others were so angry that they gritted their teeth, but there was nothing they could do. The black water was pitch black, and they could not even see their own people, let alone Yun Chujio. In the darkness, they could hear the screams of the people from the Netherworld Hall. It did not matter if they screamed, as the river water poured into their mouths. That person quickly floated to the surface of the water to breathe. At this moment, he felt a pain in his back. Then, there was nothing else. He and the corpse of his spirit beast floated on the surface of the water. Oh my God, another one died. Oh right, why did the river water turn black? Did Yun Chujio spread poison in it? Hall Master, yes, men might have been poisoned to death. What you said makes sense. Otherwise, Yun Chujio wouldn't have been able to kill them. You guys can forget it. How much poison would this poison have to be able to kill people after being diluted by the river water? It definitely wasn't poison to death. Seeing that another subordinate had died, Hall Master Yu secretly hated Yun Chujio. This damn Yun Chujio was really cunning to the extreme. She actually thought of such a sinister method. However, you still underestimate me too much. At this moment, the dye was almost diluted by the river water. Everyone finally regained their sight. Hall Master Yu gestured to his subordinates to disperse and expand the encirclement. Yun Chujio's eyes flashed. Oh, she's still quite smart. In this way, if she used the dye again, although they couldn't see her, they only needed to attack the center. Hall Master Yu waved his hand, and the 7 people's spiritual energy attacks shot toward Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio pouted and began to release the pigs. Hall Master Yu and the others were quite far away earlier, so they didn't see the perverse performance of the spiritual energy piglets. Therefore, when they saw the 7 silly and cute piglets flapping their 4 legs, they couldn't help but twitch their lips. This thing was fine on land, but in water? Humph, they were weak. Yun Chujio sneered in her heart. In a while, you guys will have a good time. Yun Chujio's hands were not idle either. She used the 8 immortal swords to protect herself, and then used the purple lightning to continuously shoot at the crowd. Hall Master Yu and the others naturally would not sit still and wait for death. On one hand, they paid attention to the situation of the piglets, and on the other hand, they used water arrows to attack Yunchujiu. The 7 spiritual energy piglets were still fiddling with their short legs when the 7 spiritual energy beasts pounced in front of them. Hall Master Yu and the others glanced at the piglets contemptuously, thinking that these piglets would definitely be finished. However, they were completely stunned by what happened next. The 7 piglets that were originally slow suddenly became agile and fiercely bit down on the spiritual energy beasts. Damn it, how was this a pig? This was even more ferocious than a tiger. This was a live act of pretending to be a pig to eat a tiger. Just as Hall Master Yu and the others were in a daze, Yunchujiu released another 8 spirit piglets. Hall Master Yu and the others hurriedly released their spirit beasts to defend, and the two sides once again engaged in a fierce battle. Although Hall Master Yu and the others had the advantage in numbers, they were unable to withstand Yunchujiu's evil schemes. When this fellow couldn't hold on any longer, he would put dye in the water and then take advantage of the chaos to launch a sneak attack. The spirit energy piglet and the purple lightning sneak attacks successively succeeded. Hall Master Ye's side very quickly lost another 3 people, leaving only 4 people. Chapter 1508 was round the people of the Netherworld Hall on the shore cried out in alarm. It's over. Hall Master Yu and the others are going to be completely wiped out. Who told them to brag? It's just a piece of cake. It's so easy. I think they'll all be killed by Yunchujiu in less than an hour. That's right. Do they think that Yunchujiu is easy to deal with? If she was easy to deal with, would we still be able to survive for such a long time without killing her? Hall Master Li wanted to say something, but he swallowed his words. Although the words of his subordinates didn't sound very convincing, they made sense. Hall Master Yu was boasting so much, so why were his subordinates being killed one after another? At this moment, Hall Master Yu also had the intention to retreat. The number of waterproof beads in their hands was limited, and they couldn't hold on for long. Thus, he gestured to the other 3 to retreat. Seeing that they had escaped, Yunchujiu did not chase after them and swam directly to the big ship in front of them. After Yunchujiu got on the ship, she sat down on the deck and said, "Damn it. I'm so tired." Fortunately, they ran away. Otherwise, it might not have happened. Nangong Luoyue and the others were very happy to see Yunchujiu return safely. They kept praising Yunchujiu's underwater skills. Yunchujiu pretended to be modest, but her mouth was almost unable to close. Hall Master Yu returned to the shore dejectedly. Hall Master Li didn't say much and only said, "This stinky girl is very strange. Let's take a long-term plan. She can't escape anyway." Hall Master Yu nodded. That stinky girl's spirit energy piglet is even more abnormal than on the shore. It's really difficult to deal with. I'm afraid that they won't come ashore until the mystic realm closes. Then, we won't have a chance to act. We don't know how far the end of the river is. If the water level at the end of the river drops, the boat will surely run aground. We can just block their way. Hall Master Li thought for a moment and said. We can only do so. From this day on, the two sides had been in a stalemate. Hall Master Li and the others would jump into the river from time to chase after them, forcing Yunchujiu's boat to keep driving forward, trying to force them to the end of the river. Although Yunchujiu had guessed Hall Master Li's intention, she did not have a good solution. Once those people boarded the boat, it would be bad. She could only keep pushing forward. 8 days later, when Yunchujiu saw the scene in front of her, she could not help but feel like crying in her heart. It seemed that not only was the earth round, but this damn mystic realm was also round. In front of her, it was actually that big lake. The big lake that she fooled 6 big bastards into. Yunchujiu wanted to turn around, but Hall Masterly and the others were already waiting in the water. Once Yun Chujia's boat turned around, they would definitely take the opportunity to board the boat. At that time, there would only be death. If they kept going forward, the lake would definitely have an end. At that time, they would still be caught up by these people. Advancing or retreating was a dead end. What should they do? Nangong Luoyue and the others also realized that there was no way to escape. They also had worried expressions. Could it be that there was really no way to survive? Junior sister Little Nine, why don't we rush to the opposite shore and escape? Perhaps there might be a turn for the better. A male student said. How could there be a way to survive? Didn't you see that the people of the Netherworld Palace are waiting for us on both sides of the river? Once we get ashore, we will definitely die. But if we don't get ashore, we'll still have to die when we reach the end of the lake. Moreover, we're on the boat, so we won't be able to escape even if we want to. Yun Chujio, who had been silent the whole time, suddenly stomped her feet. We can only gamble. If we win the bet, we'll be able to escape. If we lose the bet, we'll definitely die. Do you dare to gamble with me? Nangong Luoyue and the others looked at each other and said resolutely, gamble. Since we will die anyway, we might as well gamble. Hearing their words, Yun Chujio took a deep breath, then, she pulled her neck and shouted, listen up, scum of the Netherworld Palace. I will give you one last chance. If you don't get lost, I will let my divine beasts eat you. Chapter 1509 lies again. Hearing Yun Chujio's words, Hall Masterly and the others sneered, Yun Chujio, have you gone mad? Godly beast? If you had a godly beast, would you have been chased by us for so many days? What do you know? My godly beast is in the big lake ahead. If you continue to chase after me, I will call out my lord godly beast and eat you. The people from the Netherworld Palace immediately burst into laughter. Divine beast is in the lake. Could it be that your divine beast is an asshole? It's still in the lake. That's right. Yun Chujio, we know that you have a lot of bad ideas, but even if you lie, you still have some skill. Isn't your lie too simple? If there is a so-called divine beast in the lake ahead, I will call you grandma. Yun Chujio sneered, you forced me to do this. It seems that I have to release the divine beasts. The people of the Netherworld Palace thought that Yun Chujio must be bluffing. If she had the divine beasts, she would have released them long ago. Why would she wait until now? While everyone was thinking, they heard Yun Chujio stretching her neck and shouting at the top of her voice, Lord Divine Beasts. 6 Lord Divine Beasts. I have brought you the reserve rations again. Come out and have some snacks. 6 Lord Beast God. Come out quickly. They called you big bastards and said that you're useless. They said that you're cowards who only know how to hide in your shells. Lord Beast God. If you don't come out now, they'll take you away. Yun Chujio didn't have any confidence at all. She didn't know if the 6 big bastards were nearby. Even if they were nearby, she had already fooled them twice. As the saying goes, you can't repeat it again and again. But now, other than borrowing beasts to kill people, she really had no other way. Yun Chujio stretched her neck and shouted for a long time. There was no movement at all on the shore or in the lake. Her heart sank. Could it be that the 6 bastards were still basking in the sun in the wilderness? Fuck. They were already dark enough. What was the point of basking in the sun? The people of the Netherworld Hall saw that there was no movement. They were even more certain that Yun Chujio was bluffing. They could not help but laugh wildly. Yun Chujio, where is your divine beast? Not to mention that there isn't any bullshit divine beast, even if there is, we aren't afraid even with so many people. That's right. If there is a so-called divine beast, we can just kill it. It is said that the blood and flesh of divine beasts are very nutritious. Huh, I think there definitely isn't any divine beast. There might be a few big bastards in the lake. Just as the people of the Netherworld Palace were talking nonsense, a cloud of dust rose up in the distance, and the ground started to shake. 6 huge beasts rushed over quickly. The people of the Netherworld Palace felt their legs go weak. Although they didn't know the level of the 6 demonic beasts, they were definitely not lower than level 27. Were these demonic beasts really Yun Chujia's spiritual pets? The 6 demonic beasts quickly crawled to the vicinity of the crowd, and their huge eyes looked at Yun Chujio angrily. This wretched girl had teased them twice. This time, she would definitely eat her. Yun Chujia's eyes flashed and she stretched her neck and shouted, "Lord Divine Beast! Lord Divine Beast! You're finally here. This is great. I've finally helped you get a few dozen reserve rations." "Oh right, they called you useless bastards. I'm about to faint from anger. Come and take care of them. I didn't run away last time. I went to help you find reserve rations. If I had run away, would I have come all the way back?" Chapter 15:10 The divine beasts killed them. The people of the Netherworld Palace were confused. What was going on? What was going on? What was going on? Were these 6 demonic beasts Yun Chujia's spiritual pets? Would they attack us? The 6 demonic beasts were confused by Yun Chujia's words. What the little brat said made sense. If she was running away, why would she come back? My 6 divine beasts, bite them to death first, then slowly discuss the problem of eating me. This is in the river, not on land. I can't run away even if I want to. Let me tell you, they scolded you harshly. What big bastards, what cowards, they even want to drink your blood and eat your flesh. Oh right, someone even said that he wanted to flip your shells to make a urinal. When the 6 demonic beasts heard the last sentence, they were so angry that they almost went mad. They started to caw and caw strangely as they charged towards the people from the Netherworld Hall. Hall Masterly had already guessed 80% of the truth. These big bastards seemed to have wanted to eat Yun Chujio in the past. Yun Chujio had escaped, and now they actually said that they were helping them to trap us. When Hall Masterly thought of this, he shouted, "Lord Divine Beast, Lord Divine Beast, that stinky girl Yun Chujio is spouting nonsense. We have never said that you are big bastards. You guys have been deceived by that stinky girl Yun Chujio. You guys can't be so stupid." Hearing what Hall Masterly said, Yun Chujio almost burst into laughter. This Hall Masterly was really too stupid. What the demonic beasts were most willing to listen to was flattery. What they hated the most was that others said it was stupid and said it was stupid. If you said that, then it would be strange if the 6 big bastards weren't even angrier. As expected, when the 6 big bastards heard what Hall Masterly said, they became even angrier and pounced on them. "You're the one who's fucking stupid. Your entire family is stupid. We're so smart, how could the little girl deceive us?" The people of the Netherworld Hall were so scared that they ran in all directions. How could they still care about Yun Chujio? They wished that they could grow 2 more legs. Hall Master Zhu, who was on the other side of the river, couldn't care about saving Hall Masterly and the others. He took his men and ran away. Hall Masterly was so angry that he couldn't do anything. Hall Master Yu brought his 3 men and jumped into the river. He was ready to swim to the other side. When the 2 demonic beasts saw him, they climbed into the water and killed the 4 men and their demonic beasts in a short while. "Lord Divine Beast! You are indeed brave and fierce. Good kill. Good kill. You killed them until they cried out. Lord Divine Beast. Yes, it's that fatty. He is the one who said that he would tear off the shells of your sons of bitches and use them as your urinals. Kill him. Lord Divine Beast, you guys come and compete. I want to see who kills the most people. Whoever kills the most, "Ill let them eat me." In less than an hour, the battle on the shore came to an end. Hall Master Li and the others were all bitten to death by the 6 demonic beasts. Only then did the 6 demonic beasts start to squawk at the big ship, motioning for Yun Chujio to come out and throw her life away. Yun Chujio's loud voice could still be heard from the ship. "Lord Divine Beast, put in more effort. Kill them. Lord Divine Beast, you guys are the best. I love you guys." The 6 demonic beasts had an ominous premonition in their hearts. They swam into the water one after another and used their huge bodies to ram into the ship. Until the ship was knocked over, they did not see a single person. Fuck. They were fooled by that damn brat again. She must have secretly escaped from the river. Chase. The 6 demonic beasts saw a boat in front of them from afar. They gritted their teeth and chased after it. "Damn brat, this time I will definitely eat you up." Chapter 15:11 Empty ship plan. The 6 demonic beasts aggressively swam to the front of the big ship and roared. However, they still did not see Yun Chujio come out. They were so angry that they destroyed the big ship again. However, they angrily found that there was still no one inside. Where did that damn brat go? Could it be that she abandoned the ship and ran ashore? It must be so. Chase. She definitely wouldn't be able to escape far. The 6 demonic beasts clambered onto the opposite shore. After smelling the scent of a cultivator, they chased fiercely. Although they didn't manage to catch Yun Chujio, they did manage to catch up to Hall Master Zhu and the others. Hall Master Zhu and the others were on the verge of collapse. Why were these bastards still unwilling to let them go? They quickly scattered and ran in all directions. The 6 demonic beasts bit more than 10 people to death. The 6 demonic beasts were so angry that they roared. Where on earth did this damn brat go? At this moment, Yun Chujio was proudly cooking a small hot pot. While eating, she bragged, "Sister Luoyue, how about this trick of mine? Those bastards are probably going to die of anger." Nangong Luoyue smiled and said, "Little Jiu, how did your little head grow? Those demonic beasts must have gone ashore to chase after us when they saw the second empty ship. How could they have thought that we had a third ship? Oh right, where did you get so many ships? There are many of them. I always prepare a large number of things. I'm not bragging, but if they continue to chase after us, I can even get 10 or 8 ships to confuse them. This is called an empty ship scheme." Yun Chujio said proudly. This fellow was so beautiful. This tactic of borrowing beasts to kill people was simply perfect. She had killed more than half of the people from the Netherworld Palace in one go. Even if she met the remaining people, she could still fight them. The crisis was basically resolved. Nangong Luoyue and the others were completely impressed by Yun Chujio. Regardless of her spiritual power, just her courage and strategy alone were incomparable to others. They originally thought that they would definitely die, but now, not only was the crisis resolved, she had even gotten rid of dozens of people from the Netherworld Palace. She was truly amazing. "Little Jiu, what should we do next? Should we stay on the ship until the trial ends?" Nangong Luoyue asked. The other 5 male students also looked at Yun Chujio. Unknowingly, they had already regarded Yun Chujio as their backbone. If we stay on the ship, it will naturally be the safest. However, this trial will be a waste. Therefore, we should find a place to go ashore. Even if we meet those people from the Netherworld Palace, it's not like we don't have a chance of winning. Yun Chujio burped and said. Hearing Yun Chujio's words, Nangong Luoyue and the others nodded in agreement. They were unwilling to return empty-handed after entering the treasure mountain. They rested on the ship for a night and went ashore at dawn the next day. Yun Chujio randomly chose a direction and the group began to walk forward. "Right, Sister Luoyue, have you encountered a stone rain after entering the mystic realm?" Nangong Luoyue was stunned. Stone rain. I've never encountered it. Then have you ever encountered a fireball in the sky? Nangong Luoyue shook her head again. Little Jiu, isn't what you said too strange? Have you encountered all of these before? Yun Chujio gritted her teeth and nodded. It seemed that those were the preferential treatment given to her by the Qi Ling. Damn Qi Ling, just you wait. It's fine if I can't find you, but if I find you, it'll make you tremble whenever you think of me. Sister Luoyue, didn't you say that there are high-grade medicinal herbs, spirit tools, immortal tools, and even divine tools in the burning sky mystic realm? Where are those things? I thought they were falling from the sky. Chapter 15:12 Ancient Cultivators Cave Abode. After hearing Yun Chujia's question, Nangong Luoyue could not help but laugh. Little Jiu, what are you thinking about? How could a spirit tool fall from the sky? There are many ancient cultivators' cave abodes in this burning sky mystic realm. Those cave abodes usually have spirit tools and the like, and sometimes there will be unexpected opportunities. Yun Chujio touched her nose. I told you. Where did spirit tools drop from the sky? It was indeed the work of the damn Qi Ling. A few male students also said, although our array disc can't be used, the ancient array disc can. Those cave abodes are usually covered by arrays, so it's difficult to find the entrance of the cave abodes. We can only rely on luck. I heard that someone once hunted a violent earth-splitting wild bear and accidentally fell into a cave. I didn't expect that it was the cave abode of an ancient cultivator. He got several high-grade spirit tools and an immortal sword. Yeah, I also heard that someone was going to dig a stalk of purple stem kudzu root. I didn't expect that. As he dug, the bottom collapsed, and then he found a cave abode. Then let's also specifically dig up spirit herbs with roots. Who knows, we might also discover a cave abode. I have never been greedy. We just need to find 180 cave abodes. Yun Chujia's eyes sparkled as she said. The corners of Nangong Luoyue and the other's eyes twitched violently. Aren't you greedy? 180 cave abodes. Did you think that ancient cultivators' cave abodes were cabbages? After 3 days, the three of them had dug up quite a lot of spiritual herbs, but they didn't find a single cave abode. Yun Chujio was a little discouraged. She mumbled, didn't we agree to dig a cave abode? Why didn't we find any? Could it be that we entered the fake sky-burning mystic realm? Nangong Luoyue and the others looked at the sky speechlessly. Who said that they would dig a cave abode? Did you think they were digging for spirit potatoes? While everyone was chatting and laughing, Yun Chujio made a hand gesture to signal for everyone to keep quiet. After interacting with each other for the past few days, everyone had a tacit understanding. After seeing Yun Chujia's hand gesture, they carefully hid in the dense forest, they restrained their aura and looked outside. Damn it! What bad luck! This trip was a waste. We even lost a lot of brothers. The one who spoke was Hall Master Zhu, followed by 7 people. Hall Master Zhu, I have to say that bitch Yun Chujio is too cunning. I finally figured it out. She borrowed the beasts to kill people, and those bastards were not her spiritual beasts at all. Do you even need to say that? The hateful thing is that those bastards later killed more than 10 of our brothers. What bad luck! Yun Chujio blinked her eyes. The 6 bastards were really awesome. They actually helped her kill more than 10 people. These people chased her so miserably that she had to kill them today. Yun Chujio estimated the strength of both parties. As long as they were caught off guard, they had a high chance of winning. Yun Chujio gestured to Nangong Luoyue and the others, indicating that they should not move. Then, she wrote a note and handed it to them. After Yun Chujio took off the spirit-concealing ring on her hand, she carefully went behind those people. After leaving the dense forest, she put on the ring and deliberately made some noise. An assassin immediately noticed Yun Chujio and exclaimed, Yun Chujio. It's that damn brat Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio said with a smile, "That's right, it's me. You guys are really lucky that my spirit beast didn't eat all of you. What a pity." Chapter 15:13, Do not offend her, damn girl. You were just lucky. This time, let's see where you can run to. Let's go. Killing her will be a great achievement. Your promotion and wealth are just around the corner. Hall Master Zhu said excitedly. The other 7 people swarmed up and surrounded Yun Chujio in the middle. I'm warning you. My reinforcements will be here soon. Aren't you afraid? Yun Chujio said with a smile. Don't listen to her nonsense. Kill her first. Hall Master Zhu was afraid of being fooled by Yun Chujio, so he directly started to besiege her. Yun Chujio summoned 8 immortal swords to protect herself. Then, she began to release the little pig of spirit energy, and the 2 sides engaged in a battle. After 15 minutes, Hall Master Zhu was so angry that he gritted his teeth. This stupid girl was really hard to deal with. The 8 of them couldn't take her down in a short time, but she couldn't hold on for long. Right at this moment, Yun Chujio released a fiery red fox. That fox howled and howled. Hall Master Zhu and the others were slightly dazed. At this moment, 6 people jumped out from the dense forest. They attacked their backs with a wave of spirit energy. Yun Chujio's spirit energy piglet and small purple needles also shot towards them. The people of the Netherworld Hall were completely unprepared for the sneak attacks of other people. They were easily ambushed by Nangong Luoyue and the others. One by one, they cried out in pain. With the help of Nangong Luoyue and the others, coupled with the success of the sneak attack, Yun Chujio's side quickly gained the upper hand. Hall Master Zhu's subordinates all died one after another, and Hall Master Zhu's spirit energy was also restrained by Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio took out a large kitchen knife and rubbed it against Hall Master Zhu's face. "You'll first use your thick skin to sharpen the knife, and then cut off your flesh piece by piece. Don't you think it's very interesting?" Hall Master Zhu's face was pale. Yun Chujio. A gentleman can be killed but not humiliated. You better make it quick. Make it quick. In your dreams. Yun Chujio took out an oil paper bag from her storage ring, then, she said, "See? This is salted salt noodles. After I cut you, they'll sprinkle some salted salt noodles on it, so that your wound won't be infected. Am I a very kind person? Kind? You're the devil. You're a pervert." Hall Master Zhu was filled with hatred and fear, and he couldn't help but tremble. "Hey, what are you trembling for? Do you think the salty salt noodles are bad? It's okay, I still have chili noodles here. When I sprinkle it on your wound, it'll make sure you feel really good. You're not a human. You're a pervert." Hall Master Zhu cursed. "That's right, I'm a pervert," Yun Chujio said as she took out a large kitchen knife and cut Hall Master Zhu's face. After that, she sprinkled a layer of salty salt on his face. Hall Master Zhu immediately screamed like a pig being slaughtered. Nangong Luoyue and the others could not help but shiver. The 6 of them silently prayed in their hearts. In the future, they must never, ever offend Yun Chujio. They must never, ever offend Yun Chujio. Alright, they'll give you a chance. Tell me about your Netherworld Hall's plan this time. If I'm satisfied, they'll give you a quick death. Otherwise, they'll cut you one by one. Moreover, I have medicinal pills to treat your injuries. I guarantee that you won't die for a while." Hall Master Zhu gritted his teeth and said, "Don't even think about it. I won't betray the Netherworld Hall. Alright. You forced me to do this, so I won't be polite." Yun Chujio cut Hall Master Zhu's face again and then sprinkled salt on it. After repeating it a few times, Hall Master Zhu couldn't take it anymore. "Alright, they'll talk. Will you really kill me after I'm done? Will you give me a quick death? Chapter 15:14 Xing Envy and Vice Palace Master Lu, of course. Am a man of my word. If I lie to you, I'll let the heavenly lightning strike me to death. Yun Chujiu said confidently. Damn it, if only the heavenly lightning struck me. I miss the feeling of being struck by lightning so much. The main purpose of entering the burning sky mystic realm this time is to kill you. Of course, it's better if we can capture a few useful hostages along the way. I've already said it all. Kill me. Ah, what you've said is just as I've guessed, so what you've said is of little value. Tell me more about the secret of the Netherworld Palace. It would be best if the fewer people who know about it, the better. For example, does that Vice Palace Master Lu have a mistress? For example, does that Si Tushir have an illegitimate child? Yun Chujia's eyes flashed with the light of gossip as she asked. The corners of Nangong Luoyue and the other's eyes twitched violently. You spent so much effort to ask such a boring question. Is it really alright? Hall Master Zhu was also dumbfounded. Is this Yun Chujiu crazy? You didn't ask me about the core secrets of the Netherworld Hall, yet you actually asked me such a boring piece of gossip. However, he didn't dare to keep it a secret. Moreover, such gossip wouldn't do any harm to the Netherworld Hall, so there was no harm in telling it. I've never heard of Si Tushir having an illegitimate child. However, he is very lecherous. I've heard that he has many concubines. Vice Palace Master Lu had never heard of him having an affair with anyone. Usually, there were very few women who got close to him. I've told you everything I know. Kill me now. Yun Chujiu curled her lips. The news you've told me is not explosive at all. It's a bad review. If you can't think of any rumors that interest me, I'll have no choice but to continue to cut you with my knife. This time, I'll let you try the taste of the chili noodles. Wait. Wait. I'll talk. I'll talk. I heard that Vice Palace Master Lu used to like Xing Envy, but Xing Envy didn't like him. Yun Chujia's eyes immediately lit up. I'm interested in this news. Keep talking, keep talking. Xing Envy's father is the old palace master. Vice Palace Master Lu has always been appreciated by the old palace master. The old palace master also intends to betroth Xing Envy to Vice Palace Master Lu. However, something unexpected happened. The old palace master suddenly died. Everyone thought that Xing Envy would marry Vice Palace Master Lu after dealing with the old palace master's funeral. They didn't expect Xing Envy to ask for at least 3 months to be married in the name of filial piety, so Vice Palace Master Lu couldn't force her to agree. They didn't expect Xing Envy to suddenly disappear 3 months later. Disappeared? That's not right. Didn't your Xing Envy appear at the scene of the competition some time ago? Yun Chujiu asked, puzzled. After Xing Envy disappeared, Vice Palace Master Lu sent people to search everywhere, but they never found her. 11 years ago, Xing Envy was found, but she was brought back to the Netherworld Hall with a man. I heard that at that time, Vice Palace Master Lu was so angry that he wanted to kill the Saintess and that man. I don't know what the Saintess said later, but the Saintess was still the Saintess of the Netherworld Palace. Even that man has been living in the Saintess Palace of the Saintess. Yun Chujiu blinked her eyes. That Vice Palace Master Lu can even tolerate being cuckolded? TSK, that Saintess probably has something on Xing Envy, or Vice Palace Master Lu wants something from the Saintess. What a melodramatic gossip plot. Right, where was Xing Envy and her lover found? It's said to be in a low-level interface. It seems to be the Qing Xian continent. Qing Xian continent? Yun Chujia's heart skipped a beat, and she asked, then I don't understand. Since it was found in the Qing Xian continent, why didn't Vice Palace Master Lu use that man's family to threaten the Saintess? Chapter 15:15 Is my cheap adoptive parents. Of course, Vice Palace Master Lu is thinking about it. However, when the people of the Netherworld continent arrive at the Qing Xian continent, their spiritual power will be greatly reduced, even more than the people of the Tian Yuan continent. Their spiritual power will be directly reduced to the level of spirit enhancement, so they don't dare to act rashly. Moreover, the Saintess will not allow such a thing to happen. Otherwise, Vice Palace Master Lu will use that wild man to threaten the Saintess. Xing Envi said. Yun Chujiu frowned. The gigolo had told her that the people from the Netherworld continent were not restricted to the Qing Xian continent. Could it be that the news the gigolo received was fake? Was it fake news spread by the people from the Netherworld continent? Was it used to confuse the gigolo? Yun Chujiu was very interested in the Xing Envi from the Netherworld Palace for some reason, so she asked again, "Is your Xing Envi good-looking?" "Well, the Saintess always wears a veil. We haven't seen her face, but it is said that the Saintess is very beautiful," Xing Envi said. "Have you seen that man?" Hall Master Zhu still shook his head. "That man only works in the Saintess Palace, and he doesn't seem to be in good health, so very few people have seen him. Rumor has it that he is quite handsome." Yun Chujiu asked a few more questions, and Hall Master Zhu answered truthfully. Yun Chujiu nodded. "Your performance is not bad. I hope that you will reincarnate well in your next life." After Yun Chujiu finished speaking, she used the large kitchen knife to cut Hall Master Zhu. After Yun Chujiu killed Hall Master Zhu, she was slightly stunned. A couple from the Qing Xian continent. And they were captured 11 years ago. Could it be her cheap adoptive parents? Her grandfather said that her adoptive mother's background was unknown and she had the demeanor of a great family. Her appearance was also extremely beautiful. The more she thought about it, the more suspicious she felt. Forget it, it was better to leave this burning sky mystic realm first before making a long-term plan. Yun Chujiu collected the storage rings of these 8 people. After she used her spiritual sense to probe into them, she could not help but curl her lips. Could it be that the people from the Hall of the Netherworld were all so poor? There were only a few pitiful spirit tools and not many spirit stones. However, there were quite a few shiny black small stones. What kind of ores are these? Yun Chujiu curiously took out 2 of them and played with them. These are nether stones that are unique to the Netherworld continent. The people of the Netherworld continent can not only absorb the spirit energy in the spirit stones, but they can also absorb the spirit energy in the nether stones. However, the people of the Tianyuan continent can't do that, Nangong Luoyue answered. Yun Chujiu smiled as she put away the Netherworld stone. "Since that's the case, you guys can split those things. I'll keep the Netherworld stone. In the future, when I do business with the people of the Netherworld continent, I might be able to use it." Everyone. Are you sure that what you said isn't nonsense? The Tianyuan continent and the Netherworld continent have always been at loggerheads, yet you still want to do business. Have you gone mad? Although Nangong Luoyue and the others felt that Yun Chujiu was daydreaming, they did not stand on ceremony with her and divided the remaining things among themselves. After fighting side by side, it was very easy to eliminate the estrangement between people. In just over 10 days of being together, the few of them had already established a relationship that surpassed that of ordinary classmates. The 7 of them took a short break and continued walking forward. Yun Chujiu mumbled as she walked, "In another 10 days, this burning sky mystic realm will be closed. We have to hurry up. Why can't we meet an ancient cultivator's cave abode?" Yun Chujiu's eyes suddenly lit up. How could she forget that she still had a little expert in digging holes? Even if the ancient cultivator's cave was covered by a formation, Xiao He could still discover some clues. Chapter 15:16 Who is the best at digging? As Yun Chujiu thought of this, she took out the Xiao He rat from the spirit beast pouch. The Xiao He rat began to dig a hole and soon disappeared in front of everyone's eyes. Nangong Luoyue and the others cursed in their hearts. Regardless of whether it was the Xiao Hong Red Fox or Xiao He, they had never seen Yun Chuzhou summon them before. This fellow was really well hidden. Although these two seemed to be ordinary spirit beasts, one was an ordinary red flame two-tailed fox, and the other was a tailless earth-drilling mouse. No matter how they looked at it, they seemed to be the same as Xiaojiu, pretending to be pigs to eat tigers. Previously, this Xiao He mouse came out from underground and bit off the ropes on their bodies. Its eyes were sharp and its movements were extremely agile. No matter how they looked at it, they felt that this Xiao He mouse was unusual. Xiaojiu, what did you let that Xiao He mouse do? Nangong Luoyue asked curiously. Naturally, it was to look for the cave abode. Even if there is an array formation covering it, I don't believe that the underground will also be covered. Even if it is covered, Mickey Mouse will still discover it when it encounters the enchantment. Let's wait for Mickey Mouse's good news. Yun Chuzhou said proudly. Although Nangong Luoyue really didn't understand what Yun Chuzhou meant by Mickey for Xiao He, she felt that what Yun Chuzhou said made sense. Perhaps they could really discover something. However, Xiaojiu, although this Xiao He can dig holes, it will get tired after digging for a while, right? I'm afraid its efficiency won't be too high. Yun Chuzhou smiled smugly. Don't worry, my Mickey is a battle mouse among the earth-drilling mice. The old digger is amazing. Haven't you heard of a saying? Who is the best at digging? Xiaojiu's spiritual pet Mickey. The corner of Nangong Luoyue's eyes twitched violently. What was that? However, it didn't matter anyway. She would just let Xiao He try. It would be great if they could find the cave abode of the ancient cultivators. Just as Nangong Luoyue was thinking about it, she heard Yun Chuzhou shout and said with joy, "Ha ha ha. I found it. I found it. I told you Mickey Mouse was a good digger. Come with me." Nangong Luoyue and the others were also overjoyed. They followed Yun Chuzhou and ran to a cliff. Xiao He also came out from underground. Little Jiu, there doesn't seem to be anything unusual about this cliff. Nangong Luoyue said after checking it. Of course, we can't see it from outside. Mickey said that there's a cave abode inside. I guess there's a cliff covering the outside. We have to destroy the cliff first. Therefore, everyone began to attack the cliff together. The rocks on the cliff kept falling down. After 2 hours, they found a stone door. There were 3 big words written on the stone door, but they were written in ancient characters. Nangong Luoyue and the others didn't recognize them. Yun Chuzhou did recognize 2 of the words, Illusion House. Yun Chuzhou blinked her eyes. Illusion House. Illusion House. Or Illusion House. No matter what, there must be some kind of illusion array inside. Yun Chuzhou turned to Nangong Luoyue and the others and said, I'm afraid there's an illusion array inside. Be careful. If you really can't, take a dagger and cut your arm twice. Everyone. Little Jiu, you won't have any friends like this. What kind of bad idea is this? Yun Chuzhou saw that their expressions were stiff. She added, Sister Luoyue, you can use needles to stab yourself. As for the rest of you, you men won't be afraid of pain, right? In doing this for your own good. If you fall into an illusion, you might get injured or die. You can make your own decision. Chapter 15-17, Grapefruit Grass. When Nangong Luoyue and the others heard how serious Yun Chuzhou's words were, they could only grit their teeth and cut their arms. The pain made them grin, and their spiritual senses were indeed much clearer. Yun Chuzhou was stunned. I didn't ask you to do it now. I meant to do it after we enter. Everyone held back the thought of strangling Yun Chuzhou and asked, this stone door looks extremely sturdy. How do we open it? Yun Chuzhou smiled mischievously. Don't worry, we have a little expert in digging holes. Hence, Nangong Luoyue and the others looked at Xiao Hei with a dumbfounded expression as it started to dig a hole. Not long after, a huge hole was dug out from the sturdy stone door. They only had one thought in their mind. Whoever said that this was an ordinary groundhog, they would beat him to death. This Xiao Hei was definitely not ordinary. It was either a strange beast or an immortal beast. Just as everyone was about to enter, Yun Chuzhou said, "You guys go in first. I'll cover the outside. Otherwise, if anyone finds out, they might kill and steal the treasure." Everyone could not help but feel a little ashamed. They were so busy looking for the treasure that they did not even think about it. They were really too careless. After waiting for everyone to enter, Yun Chuzhou put away all the gravel on the ground. Then, she took out some vine seeds from her storage ring. She shamelessly poured a small amount of liquid into the guai chow and diluted it into a large vat of water. She poured a basin of water on the vines, and the vines immediately began to grow at a speed visible to the naked eye. The vines quickly covered a large part of the cliff wall. After Yun Chuzhou removed the footprints on the ground, she took out a few large rocks from her storage ring and blocked the entrance of the cave. Although Nangong Luoyue and the others were somewhat surprised by how Yun Chuzhou was able to grow the vines, they tactfully did not ask. In their hearts, they admired Yun Chuzhou's meticulousness even more. After Yun Chuzhou finished dealing with the entrance, she turned around and realized that they were only in a tunnel. There was a type of grapefruit grass growing on the wall of the tunnel. It was emitting a faint light, but there were many of them. It could also let people see the situation inside the tunnel clearly. Yun Chuzhou smiled evilly. "Now, you can begin your masochistic journey. If you have nothing to do, just pull your wounds. Don't look at this grapefruit grass. It looks quite beautiful, but did you see the moss in the corner? It's the moonlight moss. When the smell it gives off and the smell of the grapefruit grass are combined, it has the effect of causing hallucinations." Nangong Luoyue and the others could only continue to torture themselves in order to avoid falling into the hallucination. They couldn't help but curse in their hearts. This genius was different from ordinary people. How could little Jiu not fall into the hallucination? Everyone continued to walk along the tunnel. Nangong Luoyue suddenly said, "Wait, did you hear the sound of water droplets?" Everyone listened carefully. It was true. The sound came from the front, as if there was the sound of water droplets falling down. "Who cares? We'll know when we get to the front," Yun Chuzhou said carelessly. Although this guy was afraid of death, he was more greedy. When they thought about the treasures inside, it was as if they were injected with chicken blood. Everyone continued to walk forward and finally reached the end of the tunnel. They finally found the source of the sound of water dripping, and a cold wind blew behind them. They saw an incomparably huge flood dragon crouching in a corner. The sound of dripping water was the sound of its saliva dripping onto the ground. However, the giant aquatic dragon lay there lazily, as if it had no intention of attacking them. Chapter 15:18. The vegetarian giant aquatic dragon Nangong Luoyue asked Yun Chuzhou in a low voice, "Little Jiu, what should we do? Why don't we run away quickly?" Yun Chuzhou didn't say anything. This fellow's eyes were staring straight at the place next to the aquatic dragon. Next to the aquatic dragon was a set of white bones. Obviously, it was the owner of the cave abode. Next to the white bones was a huge pile of spirit tools. Yes, it was really a huge pile of spirit tools. With a dazzling light, Yun Chuzhou's eyes instantly became starry. Damn it, this pile of spirit tools was enough for her to wreak havoc for a long time. She had to get her hands on them. However, how was she going to deal with this damn flood dragon? Although she did not know what kind of creature it was, it seemed that it would not be lower than level 27. The 7 of US combined might not be its match. Yun Chujo blinked her eyes as she stared at the flood dragon. The flood dragon did not put Yun Chujo and the others in its eyes at all. It actually closed its eyes and seemed to be asleep. Yun Chujio's heart moved. Something was not right. This cave was sealed. How did this flood dragon survive? Could it be an illusion? It should not be an illusion. Although that black bead did not have any other abilities, it would usually remind me when I fell into an illusion. Everything in front of me should be real. Then, what was going on with this flood dragon? Just as Yun Chujio was racking her brains, Xiao Hong said with her spiritual sense, "Master, we spiritual beasts can sleep when we don't have food or water. Have you forgotten that I stayed in that cave for a long time? I usually sleep." Yun Chujio suddenly understood. It seemed that this flood dragon had been in a dormant state all this time. They only woke it up when they came in. However, it had been hungry for such a long time, yet it did not take the initiative to attack them. It was really strange. Could this flood dragon be a vegetarian? Perhaps the shallots grass and moonlight moss at the door not only had hallucinogenic effects, but they could also ensure that the flood dragon would not starve to death. After all, those two spirit herbs grew extremely fast. Yun Chujio decided to test it out. If worst came to worst, she would just run away. Yun Chujio took a few steps forward. "Hey, Lord Giant Aquatic Dragon. This is the first time I've seen such a powerful and domineering demonic beast with a divine personality like you. Are you hungry?" Nangong Luoyue and the others wished they could sew Yun Chujio's mouth shut. "Do you owe us? This giant aquatic dragon didn't want to eat us. Now that you asked, it would definitely get up and swallow us." Unexpectedly, the giant aquatic dragon lazily opened its eyes and glanced at Yun Chujio. It didn't do anything. "Lord Giant Aquatic Dragon, do you like to eat vegetables? I have cabbage, radishes, and spiritual potatoes here. Would you like to try them?" Yun Chujio said and threw a few cabbage, radishes, and the like over. Nangong Luoyue and the others felt that Yun Chujio was most likely crazy. This fellow even made them torture themselves to stay awake. They saw that she had fallen into an illusion. Did you think that the person in front of you was a rabbit? And you even fed cabbage and radishes. Also, why did you put so many cabbage and radishes in your storage ring? Just as Nangong Luoyue and the others were cursing in their hearts, something happened that made them even more confused. The giant flood dragon had actually changed from its previous lazy appearance. With a few gulps, it ate all the cabbages, radishes, and spiritual potatoes that Yun Chujio had thrown over. Nangong Luoyue and the others rubbed their eyes. Then, they gritted their teeth and tore at their wounds. They were in so much pain that tears almost fell down. It seemed that this was not an illusion. This flood dragon was actually a vegetarian. Yun Chujio saw that the flood dragon was gobbling down its food, so she quickly threw a lot of cabbages over. "Lord Flood Dragon, I still have a lot of cabbages here. Please take your time and eat slowly. I guarantee that you will be full." Chapter 1519, Playing hard to get. That giant aquatic dragon buried its head in its food and paid no attention to Yun Chujio. This dragon was almost as hungry as an earthworm, and it could finally eat its fill. "I'll eat. I'll eat. I'll eat, eat." Yun Chujio thought to herself. Since the giant aquatic dragon was so hungry, why didn't it go out to look for food? With the level of the giant aquatic dragon's spiritual power, destroying this cave was a piece of cake. Why would it rather starve than go out? Yun Chujio blinked her eyes. Could it be that the owner of the cave forced the giant aquatic dragon to make some kind of oath? It was probably so. If it was the owner's spiritual pet, how could the owner of the cave be willing to let his spiritual pet stay here half dead? After eating hundreds of cabbages, hundreds of white radishes, and a large pile of spiritual potatoes, the giant aquatic dragon burped a few times and laid down lazily again. Lord Giant Aquatic Dragon, I am very puzzled. With your great ability, why don't you go out and look for food? There are many medicinal herbs outside, you will definitely be full. The giant aquatic dragon snorted coldly from its nostrils, and a trace of resentment flashed through its vertical pupils. Yun Chujio immediately caught it, and this fellow's heart was filled with joy. There's a way. See how I will continue to fool this stupid loach. Lord Giant Aquatic Dragon, let me guess what happened. There's something wrong with what I said. Don't be angry. I'm just concerned about you, Yun Chujio said carefully. The giant aquatic dragon didn't say anything, and Yun Chujio took it as acquiescence, so she continued to say, Lord Giant Aquatic Dragon, could it be that the owner of this place forced you to swear an inner demon oath? So you had no choice but to guard this cave. The giant aquatic dragon suddenly straightened its head. Nangong Luoyue and the others were startled and wanted to run out of the cave, but only Yun Chujio stood there calmly. She asked with a smile, Giant Aquatic Dragon, was I right? I am the kindest person. I can't stand this kind of thing that uses the kindness of demon beasts and neglects to frame them. I will definitely think of a way to help you remove the inner demon oath. The colorful world outside is still waiting for you to explore. Besides, you've been single for a long time. It's time for you to find a partner. A hint of excitement flashed in the giant aquatic dragon's vertical pupils, followed by a hint of contempt, and it returned to its lazy state. Giant aquatic dragon, I know you may think that I'm bragging, but this is the best opportunity for you to remove your inner demon oath. It's rare to find a kind and smart person like me. Giant aquatic dragon still didn't have any reaction and lay there lazily. Alright, giant aquatic dragon, since you don't need my help, then well leave. Yun Chujio said and waved her claws, signaling Nangong Luoyue and the others to leave with her. Nangong Luoyue and the others thought that Yun Chujio really wanted to leave, so they followed behind Yun Chujio and prepared to leave as well. However, little Jiu, are you sure that you are walking forward? What the hell are you doing? Yun Chujio counted in her heart, 10, 9, 8. When Yun Chujio counted to 3, the giant aquatic dragon made a hissing sound, and Yun Chujio secretly made a victory sign. Then, she turned her head and said, Lord Giant Aquatic Dragon, are you afraid that others will discover this place? Don't worry. After we go out, we will definitely use rocks to completely block this place. I guarantee that no one will discover this place. You can just stay here and guard this place with peace of mind. Giant Aquatic Dragon's voice became even more urgent. Yun Chujio said in confusion, Giant Aquatic Dragon, do you have other matters? Ah, I know. Do you still want cabbage? Alright, I will leave a few hundred cabbages for you. After saying that, Yun Chujio placed a few hundred cabbage on the ground and continued to walk out of the cave. Chapter 15:20, Giant Aquatic Dragon and Little Loach. The giant aquatic dragon panicked and crawled over, hissing and hissing. Nangong Luoyue and the others were so frightened that their faces turned pale. They wanted to rush out of the cave, but Yun Chujio unexpectedly stopped. She turned around and said to the giant aquatic dragon with a smile, Giant Aquatic Dragon, don't tell me you believe me? Do you want me to help you remove the devil oath? The giant aquatic dragon was confused by Yun Chujio's trick of playing hard to get. Seeing that Yun Chujio had finally returned, it immediately nodded its huge head. Giant Aquatic Dragon, since you trust me, we have to establish a spiritual connection. Otherwise, I won't be able to know what happened. If I don't know what happened, I won't be able to help you remove your inner demon oath. Yun Chujio said with a smile. Giant Aquatic Dragon paused for a moment, then took the initiative to establish a spiritual connection with Yun Chujio. Giant Aquatic Dragon didn't expect that Yun Chujio, after establishing a spiritual connection, would actually forcefully use the beast taming technique. Giant aquatic dragon was so angry that it almost twitched. It desperately used its spiritual sense to resist, wanting to bite back. However, it didn't expect that it would encounter a little monster with a perverted spiritual sense. After struggling for a few times, it could only be controlled by Yun Chujio miserably. Ha ha ha. Little loach. You still dare to pretend in front of this fairy. Come here. Obediently bow to this fairy. Otherwise, you know the consequences. Yun Chujio had one hand on her waist and the other pointed at the giant aquatic dragon. She was extremely smug. Nangong Luoyue and the others looked at each other. What happened? Why did little Jiu call the giant aquatic dragon lord respectfully just now? How did it become a little loach in such a short time? Fuck, did little Nine use the beast taming technique? Did he successfully control the giant aquatic dragon? How was this possible? Didn't they say that the beast taming technique could only control demonic beasts whose spiritual power level was lower than his? How did little Nine do it? This was too abnormal, right? Compared to the stupefaction of Nan Gong Luo Luoyue and the others, that giant aquatic dragon simply wanted to strangle itself to death. How could I be so stupid? How could I be so stupid? How could I be fooled by this damn brat? She didn't even want to help me remove the oath of inner demons. She just wanted to control me. Although the giant aquatic dragon was filled with grief and indignation, it didn't dare to disobey Yun Chujio's words. It could only nod its huge head at Yun Chujio as a form of greeting. Yun Chujio curled her lips. Do you think that I'm trying to trick you by not keeping my word? Let me tell you, this fairy has always kept her word. The reason why I controlled you was because I was afraid that I would help you remove your inner demon oath. You went back on your word and killed us, so I took the opportunity to control you. Now, tell me, how did you get coerced by the owner of this cave? Hearing Yun Chujio's words, the giant aquatic dragon felt a little better and used its spiritual sense to tell the story. The story was similar to Yun Chujio's guess. The giant aquatic dragon was not the spirit beast of the cave master. Instead, it was captured by the cave master and forced to swear an oath in its heart. Unless the cave master's disciple came and took away all the spirit tools, otherwise, it could not leave. Over the years, the giant aquatic dragon had been dormant most of the time. It would only occasionally eat some shallots and moonlight moss. It was so miserable that it had nothing to live for. Little Loach, that's not right. Why didn't the owner of this cave keep the things in his storage ring? Why did he put them outside instead? Could it be that there's something mysterious about this spiritual artifact? Yun Chujio asked in puzzlement. A trace of surprise flashed through the giant aquatic dragon's vertical pupils. This little pervert was really smart. He had originally wanted to trick her, but she had actually discovered him. Chapter 1521, Ancestor Hongyu and the giant aquatic dragon saw that Yun Chujio had already discovered something amiss. It could only tell the truth. Those spirit tools have been scattered by that black-hearted old thing. If someone greedily touches them, they will fall into an illusion. Then, I can easily kill the person who came in. Yun Chujio took out a rolling pin and whipped at the giant aquatic dragon. Damn it! You're still playing tricks on me. If I hadn't discovered the clues, would you have taken the opportunity to retaliate the moment I was poisoned? I'll let you play tricks, and I'll beat you to a pulp. The giant aquatic dragon coiled its body in a circle and protected its head. It looked like a dead pig that wouldn't be scalded by water. In any case, its body was strong, and its skin was rough and thick, allowing Yun Chujio to thrash it. Nangong Luoyue and the others lit a candle for the giant aquatic dragon. It actually wanted to scheme against little Jiu. You're just looking for trouble. Damn it! Yun Chujio thrashed for a long time before her anger subsided. She then asked, other than these spirit tools, where are the other treasures of the master here? If you don't tell me, it'll make you into snake soup. The giant aquatic dragon didn't expect Yunchujio to even guess this. It could only say, that black-hearted old man said that when his disciple comes, he will definitely bury him, so he put his storage ring under his butt. If his disciple doesn't bury him, he won't be able to get that storage ring. Yunchujio curled her lips. Looks like the owner of this cave is really paranoid. But, little Loach, how can you tell if the person who came is his disciple? Giant aquatic dragon took out a portrait from his storage space. The old bastard gave me a portrait and said that this is his disciple. Yunchujio took the portrait and looked at it. There was a middle-aged man on it. He was not bad-looking, but there was a treacherous look in his triangular eyes. No matter how she looked at it, he did not seem like a good person. However, it made sense. The owner of this cave did not seem like a good person. If he was so suspicious, he probably did not do anything good when he was alive. Seeing that Yunchujio was silent, the giant aquatic dragon felt a little uneasy. This little pervert would not just take the spirit tool and storage ring and leave, right? If that was the case, it would break the oath, and it would be struck by lightning. Little fairy, how? How are you going to help me break the heart demon oath? The giant aquatic dragon completely lost its initial arrogance and asked pitifully. How did you swear the inner demon oath back then? Learn it from me word by word. By the heavens, I, giant aquatic dragon, hereby swear that I will do my best to protect this cave abode. Other than the disciples of forefather Hongyuan, I will kill anyone who touches those spirit tools. If you violate this oath, the heavens will strike you down with lightning. Giant aquatic dragon repeated the oath. Yunchujio rolled her eyes. Are you sure that you didn't miss a single word? Giant aquatic dragon nodded. Not a single word out of place. That's how I swore in my heart back then. That's easy then. That skeleton must be ancestor Hongyuan, right? Isn't it fine as long as he's his disciple? Then I'll take him as my master. As his disciple, isn't it only right and proper for me to take these things away? After Yunchujio finished speaking, she pretended to say to the skeleton, Master, this disciple of mine who just came out of the oven has bowed to you. These spiritual artifacts and the things in the storage ring will be your gift to me. I will bury you properly. As for the person in the portrait, it is obvious that he is not a good person. If there is a chance, I will help you clean up your house. In the future, you will only have me as your precious disciple. Chapter 1522, Paying Off Debts with Work. Giant aquatic dragon was stunned. Nangong Luoyue and the others were stunned. You can do this? Aren't you too shameless? I've never heard of anyone taking on a master on their own. You said that you were the disciple of the cave master, and you are. And, you still want to clean up the house. Is this what Zhou Zhankei said about you? If it was an ordinary person, they would definitely not do such a thing. However, Yunchujio did not have a strict distinction between good and evil in her heart. She could do whatever she pleased. Taking on a master did not matter. Moreover, this master was dead. There was no hindrance at all. Little Loach, is this all right? You won't be breaking your oath, right? Ha ha ha. I'm rich. Everyone, I'll keep the things first. We'll talk about it when we get back. Yunchujio said this vaguely. Nangong Luoyue and the others naturally understood what Yunchujio meant. They nodded one after another. In fact, they had already thought it through. They could not take this thing. Not to mention that they did not put in much effort, even if they did. This thing was also given to her by Little Nine's master. So what if they took it? The giant aquatic dragon was stunned and didn't say anything. Was this considered a violation or not? Yunchujio didn't care whether it was stunned or not. She put all the spirit tools on the ground into a storage ring and put them away separately. Then, she walked to the skeleton. This fellow thought about it. Although it was a nominal master, it was best to kowtow to show that it was worth a lot of money after all. Cough cough, just treat it as kowtowing for money. After Yun Chuzhou finished speaking, she knelt on the ground and really kowtowed 3 times to the skeleton. Unexpectedly, just as Yun Chuzhou finished kowtowing, the old man's skeleton actually moved away. To be exact, the green stone slab under the old man's skeleton moved away, a jade box was revealed. The giant aquatic dragon hurriedly explained, little fairy, I really didn't know about this. This black-hearted old thing actually still has a trick up his sleeve. Yun Chuzhou ignored it. She picked up the jade box and opened it. There was only a black thing inside. Yun Chuzhou was overjoyed. She had obtained another fragment of the Great Void Mirror. Yun Chuzhou put away the jade box and moved the old man's skeleton. As expected, there was a ring under the old man's skeleton. After Yun Chuzhou used her divine sense to probe into it, she found that there were quite a number of spirit stones inside. There were also some scattered things. Yun Chuzhou didn't look at it carefully. After putting away the ring, she dug a pit on the ground and buried the old man's skeleton. Master, although we haven't met before, I'm still very convinced by your means of collecting money. Therefore, we can be considered to have hit it off. From now on, you can rest in peace. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. After I get out, I'll have the giant aquatic dragon destroy this cave abode. It will also prevent others from disturbing your peace. Yun Chuzhou muttered a few words after dealing with the old man's skeleton. After Yun Chuzhou finished speaking, she said to the giant aquatic dragon, destroy this place. This place can be considered your cage. You can vent your anger now. After Yun Chuzhou and the others came out of the cave, the giant aquatic dragon began to use its huge tail to hit the cliff walls. The rocks at the top of the cave began to fall off. The giant aquatic dragon felt that it was almost done, so it climbed out. Of course, it definitely could not get out of the original hole. It only climbed out after the violent destruction. The giant aquatic dragon destroyed a large part of the nearby cliff wall, and the cave was completely destroyed. After the giant aquatic dragon destroyed the cave, it said carefully, little fairy, can you terminate the temporary contract with me now? Yun Chuzhou looked at it. Do you still have a conscience? If I help you to remove the oath of inner demons, it will be for nothing. You will eat all my cabbage and radishes for nothing. From now on, you will repay your debt with work. Chapter 1523, The Might of the Giant Aquatic Dragon. The giant aquatic dragon fell to the ground with a thud and scratched the ground with its huge claws. It wished that it could turn back time. If it could turn back time, it would rather starve to death than eat this little pervert's cabbage. Little fairy, how do you repay this debt with work? Although the giant aquatic dragon wished that it could slap Yun Chuzhou to death, it could only ask pitifully. Before I leave the mystic realm, I will naturally let you go. Don't worry, I won't take a fancy to a weak demonic beast like you. Even if you beg me, I won't take you as my spiritual pet, you little loach. Yun Chuzhou said with disdain. The giant aquatic dragon really wanted to roar, "I'm the blue dragon. Blue dragon. Not some little loach. Moreover, I beg you. Unless I'm crazy, how good would it be to be free and unfettered? Who would be willing to be a cultivator's spiritual beast? Humph." However, the feeling of being looked down upon by others was still very unpleasant. Damned girl, just you wait, they'll let you see how powerful this Jiao dragon is. Yun Chuzhou put the giant aquatic dragon into her spiritual beast pouch and released Xiao He. Let's go. Well, continue to search for treasures. Well, be rich soon. Although Nangong Luoyue and the others were curious about how Yun Chuzhia's spiritual beast pouch could hold a demonic beast that did not recognize its owner, they tactfully did not ask. Xiao He had too many secrets, so it was better for them to turn a blind eye. Although Xiao He was an expert at digging holes, it was not easy to find an ancient cultivator's cave abode. After another day, Xiao He did not find a new cultivator's cave abode. Just as Yun Chuzhou was feeling a little disappointed, more than 20 people came from the opposite side. Someone exclaimed, "Yun Chuzhou. It's Yun Chuzhou." Yun Chuzhou's eyes darkened. She was worried that she did not have any spirit stones in her account, but someone actually took the initiative to send money. This was great. The more than 20 people who came were also from the Netherworld Hall. When they saw that Yun Chuzhou and the others not only had fewer people, but also had low spiritual power, they were overjoyed. This was a good opportunity to make a contribution. As long as they killed this Yun Chuzhou, Vice Palace Master Lu would definitely reward them greatly. The people from the Netherworld Palace immediately surrounded Yun Chuzhou and the others in the middle. The leader was a man with a croaky voice. He said arrogantly, "Yun Chuzhou. Humph. You were very glorious a few days ago. Our Netherworld continent was humiliated by you until we lost all our face. Today, it's time to settle the score. I will send you to hell immediately." Yun Chuzhou smiled crisply. Her smile made the people of the Netherworld Hall feel goosebumps. Was this Yun Chuzhou crazy? Why was she still smiling so happily when she was surrounded by them? "I'm in a good mood today. I'll give you a chance. Hand over all the valuable things you have and I'll let you live. Otherwise, none of you will be able to escape. Let me tell you, you only have one chance. Once you pass this village, there won't be such a shop anymore." Yun Chuzhou said with a smile. The man with the duck's voice sneered, "Yun Chuzhou, your trick won't work on us. Do you think you can fool us with your words? You're simply wishful thinking. Go. Kill them. Leave no one alive. Alright, since you're courting death, then there's nothing we can do. Little Loach, come out." Yun Chuzhou released the giant aquatic dragon from the spiritual beast pouch. The people of the Netherworld Hall were so frightened that their legs turned soft. Yun Chuzhou actually had such a high-level spiritual beast. The giant aquatic dragon vented all of its frustration from Yun Chuzhou on the people of the Netherworld Hall. Its huge tail, sharp claws, and the fireballs it spat out were simply a great weapon. The first reaction of the people of the Netherworld Hall was to run. However, Yun Chuzhou and the others were not stupid. How could they possibly give them a chance to escape? The members of the Hall of the Netherworld had just escaped from the giant aquatic dragon's claws when Yun Chuzhou and the others pounced on them. They had no chance of escaping at all. Chapter 1524. There was a mystery in the tree hole. An hour later, there was not a single person left from the Netherworld Palace. They were all dead. Yun Chuzhou curled her lips. "I gave you a chance, but you didn't grasp it. Are you blaming me?" The giant aquatic dragon was very proud. "Did you see that? This dragon's abilities were great. If it wasn't for me, all of you would have been killed. And you still look down on me? Humph." Yun Chuzhou glanced at it. "You still have the face to show off. If it wasn't for our help, at least half of the fish that escaped the net would have been released, you little loach." The arrogance that had just risen from the giant aquatic dragon was instantly extinguished by a basin of cold water, and it became dispirited once again. Yun Chuzhou thought to herself, such a thing had to be attacked a few times for no reason, or else it would float away. Yun Chuzhou asked Nangong Luoyue and the others to divide up the valuable items from the people of the Netherworld Hall. Then, she continued to search for the caves of the ancient cultivators. Xiao He quickly found another cave of the ancient cultivators. Yun Chuzhou and the others managed to obtain the items without any danger. Although Yun Chuzhou was not very satisfied, Nangong Luoyue and the others were very happy. They did not have a nouveau riche like Yun Chuzhou. They felt very satisfied just by sharing a few high-grade spirit tools. In the next few days, Yun Chuzhou and the others were quite lucky. They found a few more ancient cultivators' cave dwellings in a row. Nangong Luoyue and the others earned a lot of money and were very happy. Yun Chuzhou pouted and muttered, "What happened to the immortal tool, divine tool, and opportunity? I can give up the immortal tool and divine tool, but where is the opportunity?" Nangong Luoyue couldn't help but laugh and said, "Little Jiu, this opportunity can only be found by chance, not by seeking it. How can it be so easy to find it? There are still 3 days until the end of the trial, and perhaps you will encounter an opportunity." Yun Chuzhou curled her lips. Opportunity? That damned tool spirit hadn't made any movements recently, so it might not be brewing some kind of evil move. However, Yun Chuzhou was still thinking about it. Just as Yun Chuzhou was thinking about it, Xiao He said with its spiritual sense, "Master, I found another cave abode." Yun Chujia's eyes lit up, and she brought Nangong Luoyue and the others to the place where Xiao He was. Unlike the cave abode that they had found previously, which was inside the rock wall, the entrance of this cave abode was actually the trunk of an ancient tree. The trunk of the ancient tree required dozens of people to hold hands to surround it. The branches and leaves were flourishing, and it was impossible to tell that there was a cave underneath. "Little Jiu, this is the 9 Heavens Dome Pine. It is said that some can live for hundreds of thousands of years. I think this 9 Heavens Dome Pine is at least tens of thousands of years old. However, the trunk of this tree is not very hard, and it is hollow. Therefore, even though the tree is very old, it is not worth much." Nangong Luoyue asked. Yun Chuzhou took out a rolling pin and knocked on it. Sure enough, a hollow voice came from inside. The corner of her mouth curled up. "It is indeed empty inside. Let's open a hole in the trunk and go in." The group quickly opened a hole in the tree trunk. Yun Chuzhou used the night pearl to shine a light inside. It was very deep inside, and she couldn't see what the bottom looked like. Yun Chuzhou threw a few pebbles inside. After a long time, she heard the sound of falling to the ground. She didn't hear any other sounds, so there shouldn't be any danger down there. "Sister Luoyue, you go down first. I'll help you watch the rope." "I'll go down last," Yun Chuzhou said to Nangong Luoyue and the others. After Nangong Luoyue and the others agreed, they climbed down the rope. Yun Chuzhou waited for them to go down and put away the rope. As usual, she planted a few vines and climbed down with sticky threads. Chapter 1525, A Big Mushroom with 7 colored lights. It took Yun Chuzhou an hour to climb down and meet up with Nangong Luoyue and the others. While climbing, Yun Chuzhou discovered that there should have been a cave abode first. There was a 9 skydome pine growing on top of the cave abode. As the roots of the 9 skydome pine grew deeper and deeper, the trunk of the tree was connected to the cave abode. According to her calculations, this cave had existed for at least tens of thousands of years. When Nangong Luoyue and the others saw Yun Chuzhou coming down, they excitedly pointed to the front and said, "Little Jiu, look. There must be something good ahead." Yun Chuzhou looked in the direction where Nangong Luoyue pointed. In the distance, there was a magnificent 7-colored light flashing. There must be a treasure. This guy was overjoyed. However, he still said cautiously, "It's naturally good to have a treasure, but there might be some danger nearby. Everyone, be careful. Activate your defensive spirit tools to prevent any accidents from happening." Nangong Luoyue and the others did as they were told and followed behind Yun Chuzhou carefully. After a quarter of an hour, everyone finally saw the thing that was emitting a magnificent light. It was actually a huge mushroom. Everyone was a little dumbfounded. There were mushrooms that could emit light, but this was the first time they had seen a mushroom that could emit such a brilliant light. Moreover, this cave abode was empty, and there was only a huge mushroom. It was really a little strange. Yun Chuzhou looked at her surroundings. There were stone walls all around. It was obvious that this cave was artificially dug. Since it was artificially dug, there were no skeletons or coffins inside, there was only one big mushroom. It was really abnormal. At this moment, the big mushroom began to emit a tempting fragrance. Nangong Luoyue and the other three couldn't help but walk toward the big mushroom. Their eyes were full of anxiety. Yun Chujio cursed in her heart and shot 6 small purple needles at the 6 people's buttocks. She only used 10% of her spiritual power, so after the small purple needles exploded, they only slightly injured the 6 people. The 6 people were shocked awake by the pain. Only then did they realize that they had unknowingly approached the strange big mushroom and quickly retreated. The 6 people touched the blood on their buttocks with faces full of shame and anger. Nangong Luyu's face was red as she asked, "Little Jiu, can't you change your position?" Yun Chujio spread her hands. "Only the skin on your buttocks is rough and the flesh is thick. If I shoot on your arms and legs, how will you fight later?" Although Nangong Luoyue and the others felt that what Yun Chujio said made sense, no matter how they looked at it, they felt that Yun Chujio did it on purpose. Due to the pain in their buttocks, everyone's spiritual senses were much clearer. Although they still had the desire to get close to the big mushroom, they could still control it with their willpower. "Little Jiu, this mushroom is too strange. What should we do next? Let me try out this big mushroom first. Everyone, step back first." After Yun Chujio gestured for everyone to step back, she took out a Windblade Rabbit from the Great Void Mystic Realm. After the Windblade Rabbit was released, it was clearly a little confused. However, it was quickly attracted by the alluring fragrance of the big mushroom. The Windblade Rabbit quickly jumped to the side of the big mushroom. Just as the Windblade Rabbit approached the big mushroom, a few mycelium emerged from the ground and tightly wrapped around the Windblade Rabbit. A moment later, only some of the Windblade Rabbit's long white hair was left on the ground. Even its bones were absorbed by the big mushroom. Nangong Luoyue and the others' faces were pale. They were very scared. If Yun Chujio did not wake them up, they would definitely end up like the Windblade Rabbit. Chapter 1526, The Old Method. Little Jiu, let's go out. There aren't any treasures in here anyway. This big mushroom is too strange, Nangong Luoyue said with a slight stutter. Before Yun Chujio had the time to answer, the green stone slabs on the ground had all exploded. The mycelium of the big mushroom extended out from the ground and swept toward the 7 people. Fortunately, everyone had already activated their defensive spirit tools according to Yun Chujio's instructions. The mycelium was blocked outside by the defensive barrier, but the mycelium was constantly secreting a kind of liquid, and the defensive barrier was quickly corroded. Everyone hurriedly used their spirit energy to attack the mycelium. Unexpectedly, the mycelium was extremely powerful, and even fire attacks were ineffective. It wrapped around everyone tightly, and once the defensive barrier was corroded, everyone would die without a doubt. Nangong Luoyue and the others were in despair. They did not expect that after escaping so many disasters, they would turn into the nourishment of the mushroom in the end. What a coward! Yun Chujio blinked her eyes. The Guai Chao in her dantian was constantly shouting. Damn it, did she have to absorb the poisonous liquid of this big mushroom again? However, it seemed that there was no other way. Let's do it then. Yun Chujio stretched out her hand from the defensive barrier and pulled a strand of mycelium into it. Little Jiu. Little Jiu. What are you doing? Let go. Nangong Luoyue and the others were so scared that they almost fainted. Yun Chujio ignored them because this guy was holding the mycelium with both hands and sucking the venom. The strange grass in his dantian was obviously very useful. The leaves were all stretched out and slightly swayed, it was extremely similar to how Yun Chujio looked when she was showing off. Nangong Luoyue and the others were scared to death when they saw Yun Chujio's valiant behavior. Oh my God, little Jiu, are you crazy? The mucus in the mycelium was extremely corrosive. Aren't you courting death? It's over. It's over. Little Jiu was about to be corroded. They didn't expect that little Jiu, who was clever and muddle-headed all her life, would actually do such a stupid thing. She was dead for sure. Wait a minute, there seemed to be something wrong. Why did it seem that not only was little Jiu not corroded, she seemed to be drinking happily? On the contrary, the mycelium quickly withered. How was this possible? Seeing that the mycelium in her hand had withered, Yun Chujio immediately grabbed another mycelium and continued to suck the venom inside. Yun Chujio's sucking speed became faster and faster, so much so that the mycelium around her was so afraid that they did not dare to come forward. This fellow was slightly proud of himself. Although this method was a little ugly, it was really easy to use, and it worked every time. Yun Chujio walked forward, and the mycelium retreated. Later on, it simply drilled back into the soil, and even the mycelium that was wrapped around Nangong Luoyue and the others also retreated back into the soil. Nangong Luoyue and the others were clearly still a little confused. What was going on? How could this work? Little Jiu was relying on eating to scare away the mycelium. Why was little Jiu not afraid of the corrosive poison? Perhaps the longevity hall had some kind of pill that was impervious to all poisons. Yes, that should be the case. That was why little Jiu was not afraid of the poison. After everyone finished imagining the truth, they saw Yun Chujio hopped towards the big mushroom and anxiously shouted, "Little Jiu. What are you doing?" Yun Chujio turned around and bared her teeth. "I wasn't full just now. I want to drink enough this time." Nangong Luoyue clearly saw the big mushroom tremble when it heard Yun Chujio's words. What made them even more surprised was that the big mushroom quickly shrank and finally became the size of an adult's fist. It burrowed into the rock wall next to it and disappeared. Chapter 1527, We are here to look for treasure. Yun Chujio snorted coldly and walked to the place where the big mushroom was originally. After lifting up a few bluestone slabs below, more than 10 steps were revealed below. Yun Chujio still threw a handful of stones down and saw that there was nothing unusual, only then did she walk down the steps. Nangong Luoyue and the others also hurriedly followed her down. What a joke. If they didn't follow little Jiu closely, what would happen if that damn big mushroom came back? Everyone came to a sudden realization after walking down. So this was the real cave abode. That big mushroom should be the owner's demonic plant, responsible for guarding the entrance of the cave abode. The inside of the cave abode was very simple. Other than a stone bed, there was a stone table and a stone bench. Other than that, there was only a white bone that had passed away. When everyone was looking around, a mist rose from the white bone and gradually formed the appearance of an old man. His beard and hair were all white, and he looked somewhat like an immortal. "Why did you barge into my cave abode?" Nangong Luoyue and the others looked at Yun Chujio at the same time. Yun Chujio said with a smile, "Senior, greetings. Of course, we came here to search for treasures. However, I see that your clothes are not that good and you probably don't have anything good. We came here for nothing." "Humph. You are so young and powerful." "I don't have anything good." "What nonsense." The old man snorted. "You have something good? You have something good to guard the cave with a broken mushroom? You have something good, but this cave is so simple. I think you are completely boasting." Yun Chujio curled her lips and said. The old man was so angry that his beard curled up. "Little girl. Take a look at what this is." The old man raised his hand, and a large pile of spirit tools appeared on the ground. There were also some jade boxes inside, which were probably filled with high-grade spirit herbs. Nangong Luoyue and the others had already guessed Yun Chujio's intentions. This fellow was really bad. He was just probing the truth. This old man was really naive. He actually fell into her trap just like that. Could it be that the ancient people were all so naive? Although Yun Chujio was overjoyed in her heart, she had a look of disdain on her face. It's all right. Previously, there was some Hongyuan forefather who had more things than you here. The old man suddenly raised his voice. What did you say? Hongyuan, that old thing's cave? He's still alive. Yun Chujio saw the hatred in the old man's eyes and her heart moved. He couldn't have died earlier. He's not even as good as you still have a remnant soul, he's already completely dead. Dead? He's dead too. Ha ha ha. Retribution. It's really retribution. Old Hongyuan, you still died before me. Ha ha ha. I won. In the end, I still won. The old man seemed to have gone mad as he laughed out loud. Yun Chujio's hair stood on end when she heard that. Why was she laughing like she was crying? Was this an enemy or a friend? The old man calmed down after a long while, and then asked, Tell me, how did you find his burial place? And what's the situation inside? Yun Chujio did not hide anything and told him everything, including how she lied to the giant aquatic dragon and how she took him as her teacher. The old man did not speak for a long time after hearing that. He was probably scared by Yun Chujio's thick skin and scoundrel. After a long time, the old man sighed, I didn't expect that. Hongyuan, you old man, you always claimed that you had unparalleled wisdom when you were alive. After you died, you actually let a little girl scheme against you. It's retribution. Retribution. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.